Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Now before we begin, I do have to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person and snapping these gorgeous high-res pics. Show Ryan some love in the comments below, cause without him, this series quite literally wouldn't be possible. Now if you are looking to pre-order your very own Cobb Vanth, he's available with toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They do have installment plans and a points-based reward system. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button so you're notified as soon as brand new content goes live on the channel. Now, we all kinda saw this coming. I mean, every time there was a convention, Hot Toys just quickly ducked in the back, wheeled out Cobb Vanth at various stages of completeness, but finally he's up for pre-order, and yes, he does come with a Timothy Olyphant head sculpt. I'm really happy he does, but more on that a little bit later. I was hoping this guy would be some kind of DX where you could take the armor off. You still maybe can, but he does kinda look like he was designed specifically to wear the armor. What the hell does that mean? Well, don't you worry, once again we'll address that a little bit later. Now he does come with an array of hands, not nearly enough in my opinion, but I like the sculpt. They're the fingerless gloves, they've got this padding, there's texture, they're painted well, but Hot Toys, stop being stingy with your hand selections, give us a bunch more. I mean, these are very unique molds. It's not like we can borrow hands from other characters and give them to Cobb Vanth. These gloves are specific to him, and I don't think we get enough gestures. Do let me know if you agree with that down below, but as I'm noticing Hot Toys giving us less and less hands, yeah, it's kind of annoying. As I said though, I do like the sculpt, I like the paint, I just want more of them. Now, some people thought that this guy was just going to use a bunch of boba parts, and he does, but he also comes with some new stuff, like this bottle of space booze. It's blue, it looks like liquid in a bottle, there's some netting on the outside. It's a neat touch, it just overall adds to the space cowboy swagger. He does come with some Boba Fett jetpack blast effects, a nice touch, because if you want him blasting around on the jetpack with Mando, pop him in and yeah, it looks like the jetpack is working. He also comes with the blast effect for the rocket. I absolutely love this blast effect, it makes it look like the rocket has been fired, and in the show we see him do that, so yeah, it makes perfect sense that he comes with that very same blast effect that we saw with Boba. You also get his super unique looking blaster. It's got the heat treatment on the end of the barrel. It's also wrapped. It looks like it's fabric, but it isn't. It's all sculpted. And there's a bunch of sand in the weapon because, as we all know, sand gets everywhere, and quite clearly on Tatooine, there's an abundance of sand. This makes perfect sense, and honestly, it ties together the look of the outfit as well, because, yeah, there's sand there too. His display base, though, is really cool. I've been saying for years that Hot Toys doesn't need to go crazy with the bases. You can do diorama display bases, but if you can't, rather than giving us those stupid footprint sand-style display bases, just make different toppers that simply sit on top of the rectangular display bases, and finally, that's exactly what they've done here. As I said, this looks really cool. It's what I've been hoping for forever. It's nicely sculpted, it's nicely painted, it's a diorama display base in a relatively small footprint. Overall, yeah, I'm really happy with this display base. Are we going to see it used again with a bunch of other characters? Yeah, honestly, probably they will do that, but I'm not complaining. The first time we're seeing it is here with Cobb Vanth, and I think he's worthy of a unique display base considering the figure himself is relatively simple. Do weigh in down below. Do you prefer the sand footprint style diorama display bases, or is this one more up your alley? Now the boots are a split cut boot design. Thank you Hot Toys, we don't often get split cut boot designs with Star Wars figures, but his boots are sculpted rather than pleather. They are dirty, they're grimy, they're covered in sand, just like his weapon. I like the stitching sculpted in. It does a convincing job of looking like pleather, but it's going to last, it's not going to crack and crease and degrade over time. I mean, the question is, if you can sculpt rubbery plastic this well with the texture and the grain and the stitching and then paint it super well so it looks like leather, then why actually use pleather at all? You all know we hate pleather, it doesn't last anywhere near long enough. This definitely can, so Hot Toys, going forward, keep this going. Now, he does have one knee guard with an ugly seam line along the front. Nobody freak out, it's probably just for the prototype. I do like that it looks like the paint has been stripped and weathered away from the inside of the Sarlacc. It's nice and dirty, it's grimy, and of course, that shiny exposed metal can be seen underneath the bright yellow finish. You also have a doohickey of sorts on the left side pocket. Not exactly sure what that is, but if you know, and I'm sure someone out there will be like, oh yes, I know what that is, that's the communicator he used for 1 second in this scene. First of all, thank you in advance, but do seriously, please let me know if you know what that piece is. He also has a patch on one side that looks suitably dirty and grimy. His pants are all fabric, but they are weathered. They're not brand new by any means. The Marshal has been trotting around on Tatooine. He's got the dirt, he's got the sand, and it's collected in the seams and the crevices, exactly where you'd expect it to be on real-life weathered clothing. Now, I was literally just praising them for not using pleather on the boots, but Hot Toys being Hot Toys, oh yes, I spot some pleather. His secondary belt, the gun belt, the holster, pleather. The belt itself, also pleather. Hot Toys, you couldn't help yourselves. At the very least, I like the colour, I like that it's weathered, the belt buckle is this bright red, it's been a little bit scratched. Once again, totally makes sense. This is a ragtag individual, he's been around, he's kicked some serious butt. Yeah, his outfit would be a little bit disheveled, and that's exactly what you can see here. He does come with Boba Fett's helmet. Yes, he can wear it, and I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, how it's actually going to go on the head sculpt, or are you going to pop on a faux neck piece then slide the helmet on? Either way, it's the same exact helmet mold as we saw with the battle-damaged Roba and Boba Fett 2-pack. I love the finish, I love the sculpt. You can feel that textural, visceral finish, it's not just paint. There is actual sculpted in detail, so it looks and feels exactly like you'd expect. There's a ton of grit, there's a ton of texture there. It's kind of hard to explain, and I think that's why I'm struggling. If you have this Boba Fett armor on the Roba and Boba Fett 2-pack, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It not only looks good, it feels exactly like you'd expect as well. Now, the armor itself is green, you can see the shiny silver underneath, it's pitted, that same texture that I was literally just ranting about on the helmet is here on the armor too. The Fett crest is scratched off, you can also see some yellow paint here and there. It's not just one color, there are multiple layers of paint that have come together to make this thing look incredible. But I do still have just one teeny complaint. The flight vest is really clean. Now, the armor is super disheveled. Wouldn't it make sense that there'd be just a little bit of soiling, a little bit of dirt and grime on the vest? It's clean, I can get over that. Can you though? I don't know, let me know down below. Does it bother you, or am I going crazy and ranting like a madman and it's not a huge deal? I do like that his shirt is slightly scuffed up. It looks like they've taken a piece of sandpaper to the red shirt. There's some pitting, there's some stitches that have kind of come out just to make it look like it's torn. I'm pretty sure that's on purpose. If it is, it's some really cool weathering. And I'm quite curious to see how that red shirt turns out after we see the final product, because don't forget, this is a handmade prototype. They can pretty much go all out with the detail, which by all means they absolutely have done. Check out that gauntlet right there. But we'll have to wait and see how everything looks with the final figure. I do like his space western cowboy blaster. It's big, it's got a completely useless silver sight, but oh, it's very Star Wars, and I am all for it. Do I prefer his pistol or his large rifle? I don't know. So far I reckon the pistol, but we'll have to wait and see. I cannot wait to get this figure in hand. I've been hoping for a Cobb Vanth forever. So far, even though there are some weird things going on here, yeah, I'm really happy. He also has that funky looking missile that he did have in the show. Not the missile that Boba Fett had on the armor, but maybe they switched it out so when you first saw him you knew, no, that's not Boba Fett, but we all knew anyway, this scrawny looking dude standing in the doorway, very clearly not Boba, but maybe that's what the costume designers were thinking with the rocket change. Nevertheless, Hot Toys did get this accurate to the show. Now, on to the main event, the Timothy Oliphant head sculpt. Oh, it looks so freaking good. I think the likeness is bang on. I like the subtle open mouth and furrowed brow. It kinda looks like he's about to say something badass. The skin texture is sculpted, not just painted. I also like the beard. It doesn't look like it's just been glued onto the face, kinda like we saw from older Hot Toys head sculpts with beards like Episode 3 Obi-Wan. Still really like that figure, but the beard wasn't perfect. This one is a lot closer to being perfect. I also like the strand of hair along the front. Overall, I've said this 2 times already, but here's a 3rd time. I'm really happy. Now, I do have just one question. There is a scarf here. It's very red and it's kinda bulky. Now, what happens when we remove the scarf and remove the armor? How long is this boy's neck? Cause it looks really long here and that's with everything on, but when you start to take the scarf off and the armor off, maybe you want to display him sans armor, just wearing the red shirt. Maybe you're kinda SOL, cause I don't think his proportions are going to be good. Maybe you're going to need to switch the body, cause this shot right here is kinda telling. It looks like his neck is super long, and Hot Toys are using that age-old trick of relying on the armor to pad out the body and give him proper proportions. We won't know until we get this guy in hand, but that's my gut feeling. We've seen it before, and so far, it looks like we're seeing it here too. Please weigh in once again. I turn the question over to y'all in the audience. Do you prefer Cobb Vanth with the armor on? Do you prefer him with the armor off, or do you prefer some third unknown look that we're going to probably see in future shows with some kind of cybernetic goodness? I don't know. For me personally, I like the armor. Now, I do have Boba Fett, and some people may say, it's a bit weird, isn't it, to have Boba standing alongside Cobb Vanth in the same exact armor? Yeah, I guess it is, but I'm a Boba fan, sue me. I also really like this silver fox right here. He kicked some butt in the show, and he looked really good while doing it. I have no complaints whatsoever with how this figure looks wearing all his armor. I will try in the review to take everything off, because I know some people will want to see that, but I'm so sorry if I've ruined this figure for you now that you're seeing him with the really long neck, because all I can see is the size of that neck, and it's starting to really drive me crazy. Maybe I've ruined this figure for myself, but even with all of that being said, I am more than happy to add this guy to the collection. It's a really good time to be a Star Wars collector. We're spoilt for choice. We've got figures from Book of Boba Fett, we've got figures from Mandalorian, we've got figures from Kenobi, and fingers crossed, we'll have figures from Andor too. Now, if you are looking to pre-order the Marshal, he is available with toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They do have installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.